So the other day we looked at Queen Elizabeth and Vlad the Impaler and or Dracula, however you want, Count Dracula per se, House of Dragon, Count Viceroy. Now, how are the kings and queens of Europe related? Chart by, of course, Useful Charts. But we're going to be isolating Queen Elizabeth. So first, once again, RIP. This probably was created when she was still alive, as in I believe she passed in 2022. But let's jump right in.
Today I'm going to show you exactly how all the current kings and queens of Europe are related. I'll be using this family tree chart, which includes 5 kings, those of the Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, Norway, and Sweden, and 2 queens, those of the United Kingdom and Denmark.
And already I imagine that a lot of it's going to stem from Victoria, but we'll see what else happens.
Currently, there are 12 countries in Europe that are classified as monarchies.
Interesting. I did not know that the 5 smaller, like, I did know Luxembourg was a monarchy. I did not know Liechtenstein was. I did not know Monaco was, or Andorra, and I did not know Vatican City classified the Pontifex Maximus as a monarchy, or the Pope as a monarchy. Unless there's something separate from that, and I'm just that ignorant.
However, only 7 of those are kingdoms, meaning
Okay, I should have waited 2 seconds.
that their monarchs hold the rank of king or queen. These other 5 countries, all very small, have some other sort of monarch. Luxembourg has a Grand Duke, and Liechtenstein, Monaco, and Andorra all have princes. And yes, Vatican City is technically a monarchy. The monarch of Vatican City is the Pope, but keep in mind that the Pope is not actually a king. His exact title in English is simply that of sovereign. So my point here is that the
Very similar, though. Like, first sovereign.
terms kingdom and monarchy do not always mean the same thing. All kingdoms are monarchies, but not all monarchies are kingdoms. And in this video, I'll only be looking at the 7 kingdoms of Europe. So the 2 monarchs who are most closely related are the Queen of Denmark and the King of Sweden. They are first cousins. You can see here that the Swedish king's father and the Danish queen's mother were brother and sister. For the rest of the video, I'm going to use Queen Elizabeth as the vantage point. The monarch that she is most closely related to is the King of Norway. They are second cousins. You can see here that the queen's grandfather had a sister who married a king of Norway. So these 2 were brother and sister. These 2 were first cousins, and these 2 are second cousins.
Makes sense.
The next 2 that Queen Elizabeth is most closely related to are the monarchs of Denmark and Sweden.
It's crazy how geography also plays a part here.
Both of them descend from
Because Scandinavia is all on the right. And then you got Netherlands and Belgium. Obviously, they're very, very close to each other. And then Spain is kind of like an anomaly here.
Queen Victoria. That's through this connection here. That makes them both third cousins to Queen Elizabeth. The 2 queens have an additional connection though. The Danish queen descends from this former Danish king, but so does Queen Elizabeth because of this marriage here. So that takes care of this side. Now let's look at the other side. Philip VI of Spain and Queen Elizabeth are related because both of them descend from Queen Victoria. Let's look at the details. These 2.
So Queen Victoria is responsible for like 5 at least, right? Connections.
Two were brother and sister, meaning that these two were first cousins. That makes these two people second cousins. And it means that Queen Elizabeth and the former King of Spain, Juan Carlos I, are third cousins. The way to describe Juan Carlos's son, Philippe's relationship to Queen Elizabeth, is to say that they are third cousins once removed.
Yeah.
The connection between Queen Elizabeth and King Philippe of Belgium is more distant. They are fifth cousins. However, note that I've shown them in the same color. That's because they are technically members of the same
Wow, that's interesting.
royal house, the house of Saxe, Coburg, and Gotha. This was the house that Albert, the husband of Queen Victoria, belonged to. And house names are usually based on the male line.
Usually because it's obviously Windsor. It coulda, shoulda, woulda been Mountbatten for Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, but it did not go that way. They kept it Windsor, and technically, on a technicality, Charles should also be Mountbatten, but I'm not sure he is either. I'm pretty sure Mountbatten just died off.
Line, not the female line. So Prince Albert's paternal uncle became the first king of Belgium. During World War I, because they were fighting the Germans and wanted a less German-sounding name, the Belgians changed their name to the House of Belgium.
Very generic, but let's rock with it.
And the British changed their name to the House of Windsor. But really, these two are still the same paternal house. Finally, we have the Dutch king. He's the monarch that is most distantly related to Queen Elizabeth. However, they are still fifth cousins once removed because both of them have a connection to the German House of Württemberg. In Queen Elizabeth's case, it's through her paternal grandmother, Mary of Teck. Now, note that Prince Charles, the future king of the United Kingdom, is shown in blue. That's because he technically belongs to the same house as the current king of Norway.
Yeah, technically he's Mountbatten, not even Glucksburg, but depends on how you position things.
And the current queen of Denmark. That's because his father, Prince Philip, is a member of the former Greek royal family, which in turn is descended from the Danish royal family, as is the Norwegian royal family. But it's actually unlikely that Charles will ever use the name of this house. The British royals will...
That's even extra unlikely. It would have been extra unlikely for Glucksburg, but unlikely for it to be Mountbatten, but likely it's going to be Windsor. We're speaking 3 years removed at this point. It's Windsor.
Probably just continue to call themselves Windsor. Mm-hmm. This chart is actually just a simplified version of some much larger charts that I sell as posters. I now have two
a huge chart.
Two versions of my European royal family tree poster, one focused on the west and the other focused on the north and east. Charts of Europe. Those
okay, let's go back.
Larger tracks continue to just...
Let's look at this real quick. Let's conclude. It's just very interesting, right? A lot of this, of course, stems from 3 houses, if we look at it. The Württemberg house, the Saxe, Coburg, and Gotha, as well as the Glucksburg. Of course, Queen Victoria's children really flesh out, whether it be Spain, Norway, obviously the UK, Denmark, and Sweden. And then you have the Württemberg being more towards the Netherlands and kind of aligning into the UK with Mary of Teck. And I think, was it Mary of Teck also the connection that we saw between Vlad the Impaler, which is interesting. So the royal family like web is just so interconnected. It's just interesting. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me down a useful chart video or something totally different as a suggestion for us to react to. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Peace out. Bye bye.